just licking the fucking thing. I was going to get liquid Dawn, grease that thing right off those pops. So, what's up, man? What's going on? What's new in the world of Phil? I know you're always pushing to do something. So.
What's new? So I just got back from Dallas last week. We were there for 5 days or something like that. We had Tony Robbins a seminar, like 15 of us or something, and that was really cool. I go every year. It's the UPW Unleash the Power Within. I'm also platinum member. Do other stuff. Been all over the world with them, and it's cool to bring some of the team members. And that just like, so it's like for anybody that doesn't know, Unleash the Power Within, the Tony Robbins is 4 days: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's like all day, 9 in the morning till the first day till like 2 at night.
Right? Wow.
No breaks, nothing really. You could leave and eat and stuff, but a lot of jumping around, a lot of clap.
I see that, bro. Every video I see is just, it's like looks like House of Pain's playing.
It's like just his fucking playlist.
I mean, it's crazy.
Like, go on Spotify and see the UPW 2023 playlist. Like, it was fire. Calvin Harris, you got like rock.
Okay.
I hear that shit and I'm just like, it's great for the gym. Just FYI.
There you go.
So, the first day you break a lot of your pattern. A lot of patterns you don't think you have, and it ends with walking on fire.
In what way? Like, tell me about the patterns. Like, okay.
So, like, beliefs aren't facts. They're just instilled in you, whether through environment,
learned behavior, your
parents, school,
right?
Whatever. When you're little, the
indoctrination. Dare you say?
Media, right?
Yeah,
politics, whatever. Proximity is power. So you hear that things you absorb no matter what. And so the other thing too is like most people don't know they have beliefs or patterns. They're just like, this is my day to day.
Because they're just walking, right? They're just doing their thing. It's normal to them.
When you're little, right? What do they tell you in kindergarten? You can be whatever you want. You can be a president. You can go to space. You can be an astronaut.
I still tell my kids, right?
As they get a little older, what happens? You're like, listen, you really need to figure out what you.
It just starts like collapsing.
I know you like professional ping pong, but I don't think it's for you. You start like, and if it's not us, it's just environment.
Somebody.
They start hearing people, and so patterns are starting to develop. And as you get into your 20s and 30s, you have all these patterns of like, they hold you back from your true potential. So essentially, that first day, it removes.
Getting back to being a kid when you thought you could be anything, right?
You leave that night. That's why you walk on fire, because traditionally you think like, hey, if I walk, I'm going to get burned. And he proves a point by showing you won't get burned, right? If you focus on the outcome, don't look down on the process, head up, right? And even before you do it, you celebrate. Most marathon winners, not runners, right? There's a difference. Jordan, Gretzky, everybody, they won the game in their head before they even fucking played. Right. And that's how you do everything at life. And you got to celebrate. It's the physiology. That's day one. Day two, now you got to fill those patterns and beliefs with new ones. Right. And so like, and whatever the ones they are for you, like you write them down. There's a lot of workbook stuff. And you kind of like figure out, you work with partners. What's cool is you work with strangers too. And like, you'll get a total different perspective you would have never got at home.
I have a question. Have you ever looked back on like 5 years ago when you first started going in your workbooks, bro?
Every year I do.
It must be so vastly different.
I was like scared by myself. I was like, oh, fuck, what's going on?
Right. I'm in a cult.
I left early a little bit.
They might take my kidneys.
Good first day.
Yeah.
I was cool with all that, right? It's like, sign me up.
That's why I have two. I don't need my gallbladder.
I know we're blood type, all my friends.
Of course you do.
And no, it's cool. So you see the process and the journey too. And I'm not a big writer. I'm not a big, like somebody who journals a lot. But when I'm in that and like in that environment, like it's really cool and refreshing. And every year I'm in a different part of my life. Like 6 years ago I went now, or 7, so I think 2017.
Right, 6 years.
So I was like, I just opened up the salon, right? Just had bought my first property. I was totally different stuff. I just left the union, working the union carpenter. So I was like, cool, eager and everything.
Right.
Now I've done a bunch of stuff and have experience, and I look at everything totally different. How to talk to people, like my family, relationships is big.
It's everything, right?
Really big. Relationships is business, your home, your friends, but it's also just like.
I never really talked to you about this. So like you said, your parents did the best they could, right?
Yeah.
And your dad used to beat the shit out of you. I remember you saying that 14 times on episode 2, I think, when we were flipping the script.
Now we're
Now we're 14 episodes later, and
And you want to bring it up again?
no, I want to know what that's like, dude. I want to know when you were a kid, were you disrespectful to your mom? Like, how did that go, dude? And what does it look like today? Because I know my relationship has evolved and devolved, 25 times.
No, absolutely. I was a little, I was a monster, man. Like I was fucking bad. And I'm not saying that to just like I was bad.
Yeah.
Like
You enjoyed being bad almost, right? Like that's how I
you
remember
I
it.
didn't
Like,
know any better. And I
okay,
just ran. Like I had a lot of energy. Still got a lot of energy. But as a kid, like I ran, right? So like mom couldn't hold me. My dad worked. Then my mom worked. Like we moved from Newark to Harrison, right?
right,
I don't know, I was at like 5 or something.
okay.
Public school. I got in trouble in kindergarten. I remember it's one of my first memories.
But like fun kid trouble or
No,
like
like I stole
you smacked a kid?
like not a real car. Sorry, like a Hot Wheels car.
Yo,
That was later on. That was later on.
5.
Listen,
I stole,
parents only
I
knew.
stole a Porsche.
No,
You remember what kind of Hot Wheels it was?
I don't. But what I remember
Probably
is
a
my dad
Lambo,
had to
dude.
leave work and go to school because he had to address it, right?
And
So
you
it
were
was the first
5.
time. And then first grade, and I kept on getting in trouble that they put me
Did he whoop your ass right inside the
I
principal's
remember.
office, dude?
Nah, they couldn't. Like,
As soon as you got outside,
yeah,
like,
I got the smack or some shit,
right.
right? And it's the first time I remember that and the consequence. And as weird as it sounds, I did get my dad's attention. You know what I mean? Like
Of course.
somehow. And then first grade I got in trouble.
Negative or positive, you got attention.
Yeah. And then I remember second grade I went to Catholic school.
Got it.
And so
Me too.
they were like, I know, it explains a lot. And so
I got a story for you if you want
I
it.
kept on getting in trouble. Do it.
So so I went to Grace in St. Peter's. It was a Episcopal school. Great school, man. This is in Baltimore.
All right.
Yeah, I went from kindergarten to the end of second grade, and I got a behavioral guide in the beginning of first grade.
Yeah.
What that means is they would write down a note every day of how I acted, and there was a smiley face, a medium face, and a frown face. And every time I got 3 frown faces in a row, I would get suspended for 2
Wow.
days. Even as a young kid, dude,
Crazy.
6, 7 years old,
Documented.
bro. Can you imagine? They're telling me if you're bad, you get a day off from school.
Yeah.
That must have stuck with me because in high school, I was always looking for 3 frown faces in a
That's
row.
right.
That's crazy though, right? Like to have this note and I would read it after class and I'd be like, you have to be so rude about the way I act. Why don't you think about the way you talk to me first?
That was that.
And the teacher's like, yo, what's wrong with this kid, man? How old are you? And it brought this exact feeling got brought up yesterday. I spoke at Garfield Middle School around the corner about drugs and alcohol and just positive outlook on life and
Yeah.
mindset and how to find something you love and trust and believe in yourself and don't take no as an answer
Yeah.
from yourself first and foremost, then from anybody else. But I was sitting in the vice principal's office and there was a kid who broke 2 computers. So the tech came in and the way she was dealing with them, I was like, bro, I was so like I started sweating. I remember being a kid in the principal's office. Like that's what I always had a problem with. It wasn't what you were saying to me, it was how you were saying
Of course.
it, And I wanted to stick up for this kid and be like, yo, you're a fucking 70-year-old bully. Step outside the office right now. Like this kid obviously has issues.
Yeah.
There's bite marks on his fucking computer. He's trying to tell you there's something wrong. You know what I mean? And that's what we were doing as kids, right? We were just saying like, yo, there's a problem.
Listen, how I'm going to interject with that, right? Because I went several places, but it's like, yes, but then it's also like if they never did that, and I learned this later on, right? Like if you don't crack the fucking door, nobody's going to kick it open, right? So if he didn't do that, he would have been in the principal's office. It
No doubt, but my point is
the
this.
approach, how they talk.
But also he did it because he's saying,
yeah, but imagine there's like, how many kids are there and how many are screaming for attention. My point is like,
yes,
My
but
point-
you said it yourself.
no, I'm with you.
Yo, Pop, I need attention, bro.
Here's the other thing, ready? I had to go through it. Like that's one of the lessons in life that you can't rob. Like if we're always coddling and medicine.
I'm not saying
that. No, I'm not saying you're saying that.
You-
right?
yeah.
I
I'm
told you-
anti-medicine.
I told you it was going different ways.
Okay.
And so am I, right?
All right.
Like, I'm like, deal with this shit. Don't.
Let's fucking
Like,
deal
put
with it
something-
for what it is.
But it's good that you got that glimpse because like what you could do with that is like, and what I would do is like, cool, I look at just like my kids, for example, and look, and you have how many employees work for you? Like a lot, right?
Yes.
And same thing here. Like we have, and they're all different fucking personalities.
So
Some of them have multi-personalities, right? Day, night, right?
I can match every one with them.
I have a rule, like I don't yell. I don't yell to anybody, right? I don't yell. I don't raise my voice. It's very like calming. If anything, I try to let them figure it out. And I learned that because when I was younger, I was that kid in the principal's
Right.
office getting in trouble. Now, the funny thing you were saying, like getting days off, like getting suspended.
Right.
I had perfect attendance till probably eighth
Seventh
grade.
grade. Yep.
What happened is the first time I got
Smoked pot.
no, I didn't. I didn't do drugs till later. Yeah. So my parents would always like that was the thing. Now, if I was sick, my dad had to pick me up or my mom and bring me home, but I had perfect attendance.
They had to
But
work.
until I got
Got it.
suspended. I got suspended, I think seventh grade or something
Right.
in there. And but to go back to the original question, how did I feel, right, with my dad?
How'd you
Like,
feel?
I got
Bad but good.
I got used to it after a while.
Right.
Like I didn't think of consequences, to be honest.
I mean,
Listen, they got bigger. I stole money from my dad. My dad collected the rents for the building,
did we
right?
ever think of consequences? There was no way in our
There was
minds we
no
were the
there was no
perfect
seven.
bandit, right? Like,
Here's the other thing where my dad kind of fucked up. Like he'd beat the shit out of like when I say beat the shit out of me, like he'd beat me. He had a fucking compressor hose from work. So they're thick and they're thin little hole in the middle,
oh,
right? He would fucking
I
whip
know
me
exactly what they look like.
because he would whip me with the belt first, and I ended up laughing after a while. He's like, "This ain't working." Then it was a belt buckle. Then it was a compressor hose. Now that shit fucking hurt.
Fuck yeah,
Like
it
I
hurts.
jumped. Like that was like there was like there was a there was a
Yo, there's a whip effect to that thing.
yeah,
That's
no,
that's
you
pretty
hear it,
real,
yo,
dude.
and it leaves a mark. Like
It
I know the
does.
mark.
I just want to go back 1 second. So I saw this interaction, and my only thought was, and I agree with everything you're saying, right? Yes, you got to go through it. You got to deal with it. The kids need to know there's consequences, but just a better conversation would have been so much more productive. And it comes full circle with what you just said, because later on that day, we had an issue at work, right? And I went in and we had a meeting. I was so fucking calm, cool, and collected, and I made it a positive. And I was proud of myself for the way I handled it. And I think it's because I saw that interaction.
Of course.
And I said, you know what? Life could have been so much fucking easier had I just said, there's got to be a better way to handle this. And that goes back to solution based,
No, of
right?
course.
As a kid, I wasn't solution based. I was
Yeah, you
challenging.
know what the fuck that was.
No, but I was like, I wanted to be the problem because I was the center of attention.
You also like as a kid, like you need to find out what your boundaries are, right? Like you just do. Some cross, some don't. I think I have no regrets, man. I have no regrets. I
You don't have a no regrets tattoo
no
spelled wrong on purpose.
super good. You fucked me all up.
I threw him off completely, dude. You got every tattoo under the sun, bro. You just get a little one. You can sneak it in there.
I'm like anti-cool tattoos. If it's cool, I don't.
You want the other. You want the opposite, right?
Still like
I get it.
6 years old, 7 years old.
I see that. I've seen your art. I see the way you draw and what you draw every time you get the opportunity. I draws cartoon penises on any place he can, you know?
I used to tag up.
I'm sure you did, man. I'm sure you did.
Say
He's gonna get locked up for something he did when he was fucking 13.
listen, it's so my dad did that. Cool. He used to be like he would feel bad afterwards, right? And so like he'd buy me. I used to skate. He'd buy me new skateboarding.
Right.
Like he would compensate.
You
for it,
got
like,
you
most
got
parents do.
rewarded for
So now
taking
I
it.
have a system
Yeah.
of like, yo, I do this, I get this, like not so
Right.
bad. So I ate it.
Bro, you were being rewarded for bad behavior.
A million percent.
At the end of the day,
I got things
because
going.
of guilt.
I got significance.
Right.
And I got either some
Attention.
something. Yeah.
All of
You
it.
know what I mean? Ah, you feel bad. Fast forward, like my mom lives with me. My dad lived with me right before he passed away a couple years ago. Became my best friend again. I think we talked about the stages of fatherhood. Where like when you're young, he's your superhero.
Right.
When you're in your teenage years, the 20s, it's like you're fucking corny, get out of here or whatever.
Right.
And then
Depending on how you are as a
no,
teenager.
it's just the generalization of it.
Right.
And later on, and he became my once I got clean and everything too. He always stood by me, always took care of me. He wasn't nasty. He wasn't mean. You know what I mean? He was the most fun guy. Everybody loved him. People pleaser, and I was it was me. You know what I mean?
Right.
At the end, yeah, like the last
3
13
years.
years or something.
Oh, wow.
Like that. He didn't live with me. He lived with me like the last year and a half.
Okay.
My mom still lives with me, and like you know that's how the relationship.
We touched on this just, on a conversation
Yeah.
last week, I think. People go live by their parents. You brought your parents into you, right?
Yeah, man.
You worked that thing out. That's smart.
Definitely blessed. She helps with the kids, everything. You know what I mean? Some people. Here's the thing: people, when they see your life, sometimes they go, "You're lucky you have your parents," or they'll say, "You're lucky you went through trauma," right? And it's like because they can't figure out
People
what to
say
do.
that. Nobody's ever said that to me.
I've heard it. Like there's a couple people.
They
Right?
won't say it to you though,
No,
right?
no, he said it to me, right? Because
That,
he's going through some shit, and he's like, "You're lucky because your wife is like this. You're lucky because you found that wife because you went through trauma, and made you strong." I'm like, "Yo," I was like, "That shit was voluntary. You don't need to go through that." And they say that about my mom, right? Like, "Oh, you're lucky." Like, what I have to, if my mom wasn't there, I'd still figure it the fuck out. There's no like variable where like X is gone. Oh shit, what
yeah,
do
but
I
also
do?
it's a choice, man. Like, you get along with your mother. She's part
No,
of
but
the family
what
unit.
they're
That's a
saying is
beautiful thing.
what they're saying is sometimes they don't have that option of the mom. Like, all right, go get a fucking dandy. Like,
But
what do I
also
tell you?
what they're saying is they're looking at the problem,
Of course, it's them.
indirectly, right? Like,
It's them.
yeah,
No, they'll never change because it's everybody else, and it's
exactly. And everywhere they go, they're there, right?
that's the
Here I
problem.
am,
Yeah, I just
everywhere I go.
everywhere I moved, I kept bringing me. I don't know if I, I
Yeah,
got stuck,
the geographical change doesn't work, does it?
and I've been everywhere.
Yeah, I know.
So no, it's fucking it is interesting. And now I'm a dad, and now you're a dad, right? How does that translate into your kids? You know what I mean? Like, how are your relationships? You got what ages are your kids?
My old Jaden's 15, Brandon is 13, and Brooklyn's 10.
Nice. So you're gonna go through it right now.
Oh, I'm already going through it. Like Jaden's starting to test the waters.
Yeah.
Like, our house is kind of the hangout house.
Yeah.
We got a finished basement. There's a separate entrance. Like, the whole deal
You
on
gotta start locking your bedroom, make sure.
how you could get away with shit. We have an alarm on every door, right? So you hear like beep 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 if somebody's coming in or coming out, or
You got an alarm on every door.
yeah.
That's a lot. Does it ring all day?
No, they're on the exit doors. I'm sorry.
Or I thought I was like,
No, on the
every
exit
door.
doors. Yeah, it would
the
just
bathroom.
bro.
Ding.
No, on the exterior facing doors, we have
All right,
alarms,
cool.
just
Yeah.
just in case, to keep the honest people honest. You know what I'm saying? But she's testing the waters right now. I don't want to put her on the spot. You know what I mean? But like, they're 15, right?
Yeah. She's never gonna listen to your podcast, by the way. I'm just saying.
I think
Highly doubt it.
I mean, never say never, but apparently, from your estimations, this thing's blowing up, right? So like, she's gonna have to listen to it at some point.
She still don't want you to speak
I,
at school.
I guarantee she wants me to be a guest. Now, I didn't ask them if they want me to speak at Nutley
Yeah.
School, and I was invited to speak there, so I said yes.
All right.
Maybe the counselor will reach out to me
After
to speak at Nutley High School. Who knows? You never know.
Depends about what you're about to say.
Listen, the world has become a strange place for me. It's very different from how we grew up, right?
Yeah.
We were the center of attention for the negative reasons. Now we're the center of attention for the positive reasons. So, when you turn a negative into a positive, it's a beautiful thing, right? And you appreciate it more and you're grateful for it. So, but Jaden's testing the waters. Like, her and her friends come over, they drink, they smoke, and she thinks it's okay. And I had to have that real conversation. Like, that's not okay. I'm responsible for everybody in this house, not just you. You can't come here and think it's the party house. And she's like, but we're just down in the basement. We can't just have a couple of drinks. And I'm like, no, not in this country, not in this household, not right now. And I don't want to make it
Of course.
a thing, because I'm pretty sure every 15-year-old across the world fucks around a little bit, and they see what's going on. They want to test how they feel.
Yeah.
But I've never seen her like intoxicated or like just stupid fucking stoned. And I know that even when I first started testing the waters, I would get completely fucked up. You know what I mean? The first time I drank a bottle of Goldschlager and a fifth of vodka, dude, a fifth of each. And we went to Dunk.
Yeah, the gold flakes.
They're all like all over my shit. I had hickeys all over my neck. I was 13. I walked to Dunkin' Donuts, went inside, ordered a large coffee, walked outside, took the lid off and drank it and threw up fire, bro. And my stomach's still fucked up to this day. Like, I have burned esophagus from, how hot Dunk's coffee is. I should have been the guy that fucking sued Dunk's, 30 years ago, but I wasn't.
You lose.
Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But I was about an hour and 10 minutes late getting home, walked in the side door, fell down the basement stairs, fucking army crawled into the bathroom, continued to throw up fire.
Considered like
But that was the first time.
Yeah.
Like, I already think that they're past that, or they didn't get the gene or whatever. But also it was almost encouraged in my house not to get like that and to be that way. But I grew up in a bar. I had a full bar in my basement when I was a kid. Like it just was
But
different,
you're
right?
Irish, right? So like you have a bar no matter what.
Irish and Italian. Like there was a bar everywhere
Whether
we
it's at
went.
another establishment or your house.
And my stepfather's family kind of got down like that too, right? As soon as you come over, it's like four fingers of fucking Glenlivet with one ice cube at 10 o'clock in the morning on Christmas Day. You know what I mean?
Is that, let me ask, was that the first time you got like plastered?
That's the first time I touched one drink.
I want to say mine.
Yes, I can't
One.
wait.
I don't know about the first drink. My dad would go to Newark and he would play cards, but not for money. They would play canastra, right? And do you understand how long that fucking game is?
I never played
It's
canasta,
two
dude.
decks.
Okay.
Just FYI.
Okay.
And then
Is it like,
it looks like solitaire, like all them lined up.
okay.
Fucking bananas.
Is it runs like how do you play? Like what are the basic rules? Do you remember or no? Okay.
No, right? All I know is I'm a kid. It's fucking long. He would go there at like 8 or 9 in the morning because day off, and then he will, we'd get lunch by 12, and I'm like, that's neither here nor there. But then we'd get lunch, right? And then he'd give me martini, not a martini. He wouldn't give it to me. He would drink martini and Rossi.
Got
Right?
it.
It's like sweet,
Yeah, yeah.
right? A little bit.
Vermouth.
So he'd
Yep.
be like, taste this. And I remember like from little, I tasted it, and this shit I was like, wow, it's not that bad. You know what I mean? He
Wow.
was like, but he didn't do it like,
No.
it's just taste it. And also my parents would use moonshine. Portuguese have moonshine anytime I
On
had
your
toothache
gums.
or anything. So I remember that. But
So you
first,
know it was a pain reliever.
yes,
Or the great reliever, as they call it, right?
reliever. But
You take every fucking thing you have if you wanted
the
to.
first time getting fucked up,
Right.
I was in Portugal. We would go like every other summer, and my cousins are all older. And there's a feast in every town every night. This is in '89 or something. One of my fucking 11, something like that.
Right.
And so I remember it's like everybody from the US, Canada, everybody's back. You know what I mean? And so like big parties, big festivals, and there were some Canadian girls and shit, and they were like, we are all drinking, right? I'm 11, so I'm pounding back. All I remember is like I'm kind of blacked out, right? I'm not blacked out, but they have horse troughs everywhere made out of like granite, right? And all I
Oh my
remember is
God.
they dunked me in there to wake me up. They were worried because I was just like
Ow.
11 years old. I do remember like, what? You know what I mean? Out of the water. And then they were pissed at me. To this day, they still bring it up all the fucking time. That was
Really?
the first time. But that's to your point. Like there wasn't like, hey, have a sip. It
No.
was like, no, you just keep going, right? It's like Coca-Cola, like anything else.
You don't know what a limit is if you never did it before.
Right?
You were saying it before. Kids got to test their limits, right? So I had to find out, and I found out the hard way. And I was punished, I think, for a month. Whatever. I was punished my whole existence. Bro, my whole existence. Like, yeah, I still think I didn't serve all my time. You know what I mean? Like, and then once I was either 13 or 14, I'd be like, fine, fuck it, I'm punished. My parents would go to sleep. I would sneak out the basement window. So, like, and in the summer it was great because I had this big ass air conditioning and it was directly above the window for the basement. So we just crawl, and we had this little side yard. It was like a vegetable garden. So you'd already be like out, back, gone. You didn't have to walk around anything, anybody. So we snoogalooged all the time. That's what we call it, bro. We were kids.
What's your craziest story like that you remember in like we're gonna call it active addiction, right? So like 20s, 30s, what's your craziest?
You go first because I got to think about that. I don't know, man. I also don't know if I want to tell it here on air. I mean, it's you know
I got a bunch.
that's
Like
the thing.
craziest.
They're all movies, dude. If you think back,
No, like I remember
they're
them vividly,
movies,
bro.
bro.
Like one of them I remember, like it was me and my buddy Steve, right? And we're going into the projects. We always went to the project, but we're going to the project. But it's like it's different when you go 2, 3 in the morning, right? It was like Baxter Terrace projects. Pull up, like I'm geeked up. Like I can't move, I can't talk. I'm in his car's passenger seat. He drove, right? We're gonna get more. And I don't know if I was doing dope yet, but all I remember is that. And then he's like, he went up the middle. I'm so geeked, I'm like locking the doors, like putting my seat back. You know what I mean? Like this guy left me here, you know? And I seen a couple people that you could see the court, right?
Yeah.
The courtyard, right? So you could see the courtyard. I see a couple people there. And then I'm just like waiting, right? And the fucking minute is like an hour, right? When you're like that.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, I see him running back, but not running, but like full sprint, right?
Wow.
And he's like, I could read his lips. He's like, "The fuck out of here or go or some shit." Yo, on some Dukes of Hazzard shit. He slid on the hood of his car, right? I'm like, I guess I gotta open the doors. Open the doors. There's like 4 guys with guns drawn,
Oh my
right?
God.
Like fucking going. And he's like, his bright idea, his car stick. His bright idea is like, I'm gonna put in a fuck. He's gonna drive it. You know what I mean? There's still got in the car. He drove it. Somebody gets in front of the hood like this, pointing the fucking gun, and I'm like, geek the fuck up, like, don't shoot. I'm like sliding down my seat. I'm like, don't fucking shoot. So he fucking, thank God he didn't. He had every reason to, right? Thank God he didn't shoot. So he like, I don't know, goes around him. I
Yeah.
don't remember. So then we get to the red light, and we're speeding and everything. He decides to stop at the red light, 3 in the morning. I'm like, no, like, are you serious? Like, go, motherfucker!
Go.
Like, now you want to follow the fucking rules? What happened was like it was detectives, narcs, undercovers, and so they were there for something else, or whatever.
Right.
And then they saw him. He's fucking white Italian. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they
Fucking,
have-
he doesn't belong there.
Right.
And he just fucking ran out. Yo, to this day, that shit. Of course, afterwards, we're like, yeah, we got away. Fucking geeked up, and then
I can't imagine, dude.
fucking heart like
Did
that.
you sleep that night, dude? That's crazy.
Barely slept.
Yeah,
I
man.
sleep during the day, not at night.
That's
I
wild.
had a bunch. I had another one. They always revolve projects, man. It's bad area. Another one on Grafton Avenue, and
Really nice area.
now it is right. There's townhomes and shit.
They
so
changed it a lot, dude.
developing. Riverfront, water.
Riverfront.
Yeah. So I remember
The Passaic River
So when
views.
I went, they're different. When I went, they used to be the high-rise ones, right?
Yep.
There was a wall.
I
90%
remember
of
it.
the windows were fucking gone, right?
I remember.
21, everybody remembers it. So like I would go, I would cop, right? And I was doing dope back then. So I would cop. I was by myself. I had a Honda Accord, all nice, decked out and everything. I still kind of like did my thing. And I remember I bought like a bundle, and then I went shopping. And then I remember I like came back to get more because I would just buy more all the time. When I came back, it looked weird, but I pulled up and I didn't notice. And I'm like, I saw, I guess, some cops or DTs talking to prostitute or somebody out there, right? So I
Right.
thought nothing of it. So I got it. I'm like, oh, they're busy. Then the cops start chasing me. And listen, by the way, I have no license, right? I
Right.
lost my license for 8 years, warrants, all this shit. So I'm like, I ain't stop it. I fucking went. So I went up to Broadway, went around the block, boom, boom, past Grafton Ave again, right? I'm trying to lose them. Right, get on 21, and I'm just like, boom, towards Newark, and I'm like, towards downtown. Fucking lost them, right? Like they're gone. I'm like, yeah, listen, I scored somehow. I had like fucking three stacks, all fucking flying around the car. I had drugs. I had all. It was a mess. And then I get to the end. That first light on 21.
Yeah.
So like, they called ahead. I guess they blocked the fucking road. So now my car is stuck behind like 10 other cars. Like I can't dump the car. I'm like, yeah. I'm like running. Hop the fence, and I'm like, yeah. All of a sudden, boom! They caught me, fucking knocked, boom! They're kicking me. I hear people in the car, leave him alone, leave him alone. I was like, yeah, that's fucked up. Yo, I'll never. And I think like I got locked up the day before, and then at the same spot, and then again, some shit like that. Yeah, it was bad. That's like I was like always. It's like when I'm little, man, right? So like I just ran all the time. Like I couldn't stop. Especially you put something in me, like it's fucking. I know only one way. It was like back then. It was like, listen, it's weird because now it's like people think I substitute. I didn't. Like I just channeled my energy and my focus. Like if I want something, I'm gonna get it. I'm
Right.
gonna do it. I'm gonna make it happen. So like in terms of something that used to be a con, now is an asset, is a value. And again, it's not like I'm not like listen, I laugh a little bit, but I'm not like promoting it or like it was fucking horrible time in my life. I hurt a lot of people, I hurt myself. But I look at it and it's like, it's unfortunate I had to go that way, but like it's made me who I am right now. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of, um, ambition, determination. I just really believe like the traditional beliefs and patterns of the school system and sitting, like I needed that stuff, but it wasn't for me.
I feel the same exact way.
I'm more of like an energy. visionary. Like I'm not organized like that. Like I understand things. I sent you something earlier today, right? That's the like I do the best I
Right.
can in terms of that. But like I've learned to like, cool, I could outsource that and shit like that. I don't have to be like that. So I like being more of a visionary, thinking big and figuring
But you said
things out.
exactly right. I mean, you learned how to channel that energy, and that's all it is. It's
Yeah,
energy, right?
absolutely.
Everything,
Yep.
everything around us, microphone, TV, it's all that.
The frequency, the energy, and how it's perceived.
Yeah, when we were kids, I mean, you couldn't get me off my bike or my skateboard
Oh my god.
or the basketball court.
Yeah, those are
I
the
would
three things I did: basketball, skateboard, and bike.
Same thing, bro. I would shoot foul shots in my driveway. Dark, didn't
Yeah,
matter.
all day.
100, 200, 300.
Mhm.
It didn't matter. Like there was never an off switch. And I think most entrepreneurs are that way, where they just don't really have an off switch. So people could think we're substituting, right? Like when is enough enough? Like 2023 has been a wild ass year, right? We opened 2 restaurants this year, started a podcast,
Yeah.
clothing line. Like
Mhm.
how can you top that in
Yeah.
24? But I don't think of it as a challenge. I'm not, going against myself, even
Yeah.
though I am. I have nothing to prove. But the point is that there's no off switch. It's just about what's next. Let's make sure this is perfect. Let's
There's a
line it up.
permanent off switch. That's the off switch, right? Like when you're done, you're done.
When the lights go out,
When the fucking casket closes, that's the fucking permanent off switch. So why would you want to turn it off before that? Life is about like you hear like living it and enjoying it, but like also like the pursuit of just like, yeah, happiness, cool. I think that's just a bullshit metaphor, you know what I mean? So that you don't gotta do shit. But it's the pursuit of fucking joy in things that you do. Like, be passionate about the shit you don't love. That's fucking that's life. You know what I mean? Like turning the stuff that you do that's on an ordinary basis or fucking some sort of mediocrity into your passion. Like what I do right now, I love what I do. When I first did it, I was like, how the fuck did I get into this? It was a job. It was cool. Yeah, it's business. It's yours. It looks real fucking glamorous now. You know what I mean? But like, and the same for you. Like when you're there day and night, you trade a 9 to 5 for a fucking 24/7,
right?
right? And it's yours. You got to live it. Yeah, it's yours, but it's yours,
You're
right?
exactly right. The happiness is inside the work that you're not
Absolutely.
doing.
Happiness is in the work.
It's in the work you're
Absolutely.
not doing.
Yeah.
Like, I touched on it earlier, talking in front of 380 eighth graders. Like, I didn't I would never want to do that, right?
Yeah.
Like, but I came outside myself and I said, this is not about me. And before I went to sleep, I started thinking about it and I was like, maybe I'm a little nervous. And then I thought to myself, I'm grateful to be in a position to
Yeah.
be able to help one kid, let alone, you know, 10 kids, 20 kids. And I definitely got their attention and I brought something out of myself, right?
Yeah.
And I was super grateful at the end of it. Everybody's like, thank you for coming. Thank you for speaking. And I was like, no, thank you for inviting me. That's the difference.
Gratitude.
That's the shit that I would never want to face or do in the past. Now I look forward to it to see what the outcome is. So that you're absolutely right. Like what's next? Let's see what we can do. Let's see how we react in the moments where we're supposed to blow up. If we can be that guiding light to somebody sitting next to you, if you can be that mentor, that parent, that teacher, whatever it is, like let me show you through my experience how we can become better together.
What's the say? Curiosity killed the cat, right?
Right.
So like, it's
Well,
crazy.
that's why the cat has 9 lives. The curious motherfucker.
So like, curiosity can be detrimental or it could be the best thing that ever happened to you. And so when I was younger, it was really more curious, like how far can I go? What could I do? The boundaries I could put. Like I want to know. It's really that, right? Now it's the same thing. It's just a
Nothing's
different
changed.
focus, right?
Right.
So it's like, why am I doing this when I could do this? Why could I do like, I sit there and I'm just like, why not? Right? And then the why not's like, and I really don't sit there. It's not, and it's always like, this is what I learned, and it reaffirmed it this last weekend, right? Which is like, most people say how, right? So instead of saying how, say who. And what that means is like, when you're trying to figure something out, no, go talk to the person who did it, or who has it, or who can get it, who can make it happen. That's the direct answer to everything. You want a private jet? Not how, it's who. Who has one? What do they do? How do they get it? You want to grow your portfolio? You want to open up a restaurant? Like, nothing about food except how to fucking eat it and pay my bill. But if I want to open something up, the who is you, not the how. I'm not gonna sit there and figure it the fuck out. I can.
I'm going to go to somebody who's done it before and learn from them.
Exactly. And once
That's why you're at Tony Robbins, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's the whole thing.
Right.
How to communicate with yourself,
Correct.
right?
That's how you talk to yourself.
That's
My
all.
language changed, right? So the words I don't use, try, maybe, hopefully, possibly, we'll see, all those buffer
You
bullshit
hate
words.
when I say that stuff.
Because it's bullshit. It's not necessarily you, right? But it's just like when people say that, I'm gonna try, right? What the fuck does try mean? You just don't have the balls to say no. Or if you say yes, I'm gonna hold you accountable.
Right.
Because it's very black. So my life became very black and white. Like this is like if I'm not going, if I commit, I said yes, I hold myself like it's a yes. Like I gotta fucking go. I'm not gonna give a fuck too much about how I make you feel. It's how I feel afterwards that I committed to it. So the way I speak to myself is very clear cut. It's very, and the people around me and everything, and the benefits of that. It's just cut and dry. You know what I mean? People understand the results, but
Then you can always rely on yourself too.
right.
You talk about it all the time. Momentum's huge, negative or
Everything.
positive. Because once you get rolling in the wrong direction, that fucking hill gets steep and faster and longer forever. But it's the same thing for positive because you changed your mindset and you turn that around.
You want me to drop a gem on you, right?
I love getting gems dropped on me. Mob deep, baby.
Emotion is energy with motion. Right? There's not one without the other. Like motion, we speak about energy, but energy is motion. Something spinning, like some going back and forth, right? O's and ones in terms of like computers, right?
Right.
It's this. It's movement, energy, right? Motion. Once you're doing whatever you're doing in a relationship, once the motion stops, once the energy stops, the emotion stops, right? In your career and everything. So like the whole thing that we're brought up to understand is like you're gonna retire one day. You're just doing this job because until you get this, or I just want a vacation. What you're saying is like, so you just want to stop, right? So also, so that's the first part. After what stops is like your heart doesn't beat the same. The your brain talking to your body, right? The electrical connections in between everything slow down. Everything stops. It's motion, right? There's a physiology behind all of that.
A body in
So
motion
like
stays in motion, right?
absolutely.
Like running water.
So like what do they say? Move a muscle, change a thought.
Right.
Right. Once you start moving, it changes.
That's where the massive action
So like,
is, right?
why would you want to sit on a beach for the rest of your life and drink fucking margaritas? Right? Anybody that I know that's like a lot of people with Miami and shit like that, and it's cool after the first year, they're like, there's nothing there. Like you need something. You know what I mean? Listen, some people don't. Some people do very well with just
Right.
but the majority of people, and then the question is like, is that what you're living for? To not live?
Yeah, to stop working at 65 and be like, I made it.
Yeah. Most people, there's statistics that like I don't have the percentage, but and I know this from the carpenters union, most people who retire at 65 end up dying within the next 5 years because they're going from like it's like working out, right? They're going from like
100 this year.
what's the word I'm looking for? Just working all the time. Exactly, 100 to 0. They stop. Their heart after a while says, I guess we don't gotta pump as much blood, right? I guess we don't gotta be in physical shape, I guess. And they start eating shitty, drinking more. It's like a fucking complete 180. Most people die and they don't hit their. That's why the pension system's so great for
The other side.
the unions and everybody because
Right.
you guys aren't gonna fucking utilize
I wonder what that number is from 65 to 75.
There's
People
there-
even make it 10 years, dude.
there's statistics. I hear 5 years. I never even heard 10 years. You know what I mean? Are there people? Of course. The majority you hear them. That's the 60s is the most 50s, and then 60s are the most dangerous times for heart attacks. It's not the 70s and 80s. You know what I mean? Your body's already used to it at that point. That's why like you see people that work. There's a guy in my village, right? In Portugal, and I go there. I'm gonna go there again in January. I go there in the winter, right? And I go there like a bunch of times, but in the winter, there's like nobody there. There's like 10, 15 people that fucking live there. So I'm like, hey, what are you doing? So he's got a hoe, right? And he's got a button-up shirt. He's like went to church. He's got like a suit on. They still fucking that's how they work, right? And I'm like, he looks fucking good for his age, whatever
Right.
his age is. So I'm like, how you doing? He's like, oh, great. He's like, what the fuck else am I gonna do? Like, I love doing this shit. He's like, I know if I stop, I'm dying. I'm like, how old are you? He's like, 92. But I was blown away. He did not look 92. He looked maybe 70,
Right.
72. Every day he has purpose. It's not the work. He has purpose. He knows he has to till the land. He knows he has to seed. He knows he has to fucking tend to the vineyards. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's got to prune them.
He's Jordan on the farm, bro. He already won before he got up
He's
and played the
like,
game.
bro, who's got it better than him? In the summer, we have our feast over there. Every night he would work, and then every night you would think he's tired, right? He's the guy that stays out the latest. He's dancing with his wife. Me and my wife say, I'm like, yo, I want to be him. Like, this motherfucker, like, hit the jackpot.
He figured it out.
He figured it out. He's gonna die. He smiles. He's gonna die happy. There's no like, fucking resentment. No like, oh, he's like, he says it. He's like, man, who's got it better than me? Gratitude's the other aspect of it.
Absolutely.
90% is like he wakes up, puts his feet on the ground.
I know you don't want to know regrets tattoo, but thinking back on stuff that you never did is really thinking back on
That's
stuff.
how we're gonna.
No, but thinking back on stuff that you never did really affects you negatively. You never challenged yourself or stepped outside of yourself.
You're saying it to me, or
No, just in general. Like,
yeah.
if you look back and say, why did I say no to that?
Well, I don't want to die with regrets, right? I
Who
don't want to
does?
like. Yeah,
That's why we don't regret anything we went through either. Like,
No,
you
I'm so
needed
cool.
all that to
You're
get to
so
where you
cool
were
at
today.
failing, where most people are scared and they're like, "You just don't care." I'm like, "No, I care, but the quicker I fail, the quicker I figure it the fuck out. It's
Right.
not for me.
Right.
Like, let's go. I'm gonna put my all into it. I know my character. I know what the fuck I'm gonna do. I do my homework and shit. But if it fails, shit fails all the fucking time. I'm not the first guy, not the first.
You weren't good in every subject in school, were you? Like,
as I get spread out, shit's gonna happen.
I would love to know that fact. Actually, we're gonna need a computer guy at some point because like we need some factual
Can we Google
information,
that for
bro.
us from after the retirement age of 65. What's the specs on
How long you live?
how long?
Life expectancy after retirement at
Yeah.
65. Also, like, oh, were we just first time I ever lost my train of thought on the show? We were just talking about something. Regrets? No. Anyway.
I was saying like I don't want to die with any regrets. I'd rather fail. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Learn
that's
to fail hard and fail fast.
that's what it
mean,
was.
fail
Perfect.
fucking good.
I wonder how many billionaires
Yep.
have gone bankrupt.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's
I'm sure all of them have.
that's
Some-
probably a real thing.
They have to learn it. Like,
Right.
it's one of those systems you got to learn. Marvin, you got some stats for us? I can't see that shit, man. Damn. Huh? What's that? It's from 65 to 85.
I think we need to break it
There's
into.
no percentage though, right? Like how many die within the first 5 years? Is there a percentage?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a sub question.
Yeah. You got to refine it.
Yeah.
It's fucking chat GPT shit.
I think we also need to. Now we know we need a 45-inch screen.
And we need an in-house fucking guy in the background just Marvin, poor Marvin.
We need R2D2 on the ones and twos.
Well, look, I'm just going to say it's not good.
I also bet, specific professions
Yeah.
are
of
different,
course,
right?
absolutely.
Like, somebody who's been a worker.
Yeah.
If you're a worker bee, you stop working,
Yeah.
you probably die way quicker, right?
Absolutely.
Like a physician's probably different,
Yeah.
Somebody who slows down
Right.
over time, right?
Yeah.
And they just get used to
Have a
it.
steady pace. or
And then they
something.
live it out. But also, those guys have changed their lives in their 40s and 50s vastly,
Correct.
right? Because when you're a doctor in your 30s, it's just, you probably
Listen,
just black out for those 10
Listen,
years. You
I
work
would
so
say
much.
primarily working class, you know what I mean? But there are other ones too. But yeah, man, the biggest thing is like, I fuck with you a lot in the sense of we were like, say yes to the opportunity. And it's tough. Most opportunities, my buddy just had an opportunity that he took, right? And took him to like the F1 in Vegas, he had a private jet. He didn't pay for shit, right? People offered it because he's already in that mindset and everything. And listen, he got shit from his wife, and rightfully so. You know what I mean? She's fucking pissed you're leaving. But it's like, how do you, because I am with the whole, you got to say yes to everything. But like, I also have my relationship and everything I got to figure out. But I'm going to tell you, the yes wins. I'm going to tell you because it can't be a direct one-to-one, or I can't wait till the relationship because the opportunities is what I mean, aren't going to wait there. I got to do that. I just got to double up and figure it out and make sure I'm good in my relationship too.
It's a
If you're
huge
waiting for
lesson.
this, you know, the opportunities.
That's a huge lesson. You said the
disappear.
1-to-1 ratio.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that
No,
way.
never.
It doesn't work that way.
No.
And you know, true disclosure, I don't know how many episodes my wife has watched on this, but we had an argument this morning, and it wasn't the subject matter. It was the way I handle it.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't fully listen to her, and I tried to be like, yeah, I got it. I'm on the phone, getting in the shower. I got music playing, like answering emails. She's like, take a fucking minute, look at me, and respond like a human being. You know,
present.
She does, and and that's exactly it. And those who are present, they win every time.
Of course.
Like, I enjoy this show so much, and I feel like it's a week of therapy every time I get out of it, because I'm here. You know,
There's no other distraction.
we put our phones away, right, in another room.
Never
And it's
happens.
like,
I know.
it's crazy. It never
First, I'm like,
happens.
let me know when it's ringing, because I'll go over there. And
No, but it's huge, dude, to put the fucking phone down.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like I need an hour a day without it, because it clears my mind, makes me feel a little more present, you know, and I can recall things quicker, and I'm active in this, you know. But my point was that your wife wants you to know that you're in it, right? Are you here? Are you listening?
Yeah.
Do you give a shit? Does this matter to you? And I was like, come on, this is like small potatoes. What are we really talking about here? But it's not, because it's her feelings behind it, right? It's the emotions.
Of course.
It's the energy with motion.
Energy with motion equals emotion.
Energy with
I'm
motion.
gonna
That's
finish
beautiful.
on something good. So, like, me and my wife have changed our relationship in the last couple months for the better, right? Some communication issues, some other shit, the way I was acting with other stuff, right? And let me tell you, since we talked it through and everything, and we're good, our sex game has been fucking phenomenal. She even said it. She's like, I'm gonna up it so that you don't think about anything else but me. And I'm like, no bullshit, man. Like,
Wow.
unfucking believe. I'm not like, like you hear it and you think it, but it's like it's switched in my mind where I'm like, my thoughts are her. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where like it's a game fucking change. And I'm just saying that, like, whoever has it, like, and you got to switch it up. You know what I mean? Like whatever you're doing all the time, whatever works for you. You know what I mean? Like talking, foreplay, whatever the fuck it is. Like it's a fucking elevating my relationship.
But you guys linked. Your mind's linked,
It's
right?
like when we first fucking met.
Right.
You know what I mean? Was that 13 years ago or some shit? Like,
Right.
It's fucking bananas. So we'll leave everybody with that shit tonight. Marvin, we're up, right? Hard to stop.
We're at the hour, ladies and gentlemen. It's always a pleasure, bro.
Yeah,
It's just the two of us.
Absolutely.
I love having guests on, but like,
Have a
you
good
know,
time.
yeah, they cut into my talking time, and that kind of, you know, that kind of bothers me.
It becomes their therapy session, not ours. So
Yeah.
until next time, thank you guys, and we're out.
Be good, everybody.